So the time has come once more where CTGP rolls out yet another monthly update. And hey, would you look at that? I'm at 100 subs. Can we make that 0? Let's make that 0. Alright, I love the bi-monthly upload schedule. I know I'm loving it. Anyway, we got some stuff for April. It's always exciting when I get to trash on other people's hard work. You know, it's really, I like it. It's my favorite pastime. As normal, I'm about 2 weeks late to the party. Probably 3, honestly. But let's just get to it before I upload February's video in April. See, this is exactly what I've been talking about. It's exactly what I've been saying. I'm telling you guys, I can predict the future. It's just a fact. I'm just built different. I know some of y'all don't believe me. You think these are all coincidences? Don't. Ladies and gents, this is CTGP update version 1.03.1122-4. That's the February update, by the way. I just didn't bother to re-record that line. I totally called this one.
A track like N.I.S.W.O.E, a below-average, eerie, spooky track, just reeks of 2014, empty, edgy, amateurish, that can get accepted into the pack in 2020 and can stay in 2021.
And removed in 2022. We're starting the year off strong, 3 months late, and psychic. We're staying true to character here. I think you might have been able to tell from that clip, but I'm not very fond of N.I.S.W.O.E. It has a decent concept, and I'll admit, it doesn't look horrible, but it's really underwhelming. It doesn't live up to my expectations of what an abandoned nightmare would be like. Oh god, just think what it would have been like if the track were called Abandoned Nightmare. What kind of name is that? What's with the trend of tracks being abandoned or lost? How would you even abandon a nightmare? That's just called waking up. Is that what this track is? That groggy feeling you get when you're half asleep after waking up at some ungodly hour? That's what this is. It's waking up. The track's name is Waking Up. It's time. I never thought I'd see the day the titan known as Heart of China would fall. And yet, here we are. It's unreal to think about. I briefly touched on this one in my Crystal Plains review where I used it as an example of bad gameplay ruining an otherwise solid track. And yeah, I don't necessarily think this track is very good, but being honest here, I'm gonna miss it. I'm a little sad to see it go. Like, it's always been there. It's been around for so long. And it was so prominent. How could it not be in the pack, you know? It's bittersweet watching it leave. Part of me wants it to stay. I reckon I'd feel the same way if tracks like Six King Peaks, Caladay Desert, or even A.S.D.F. Course were removed. Yeah, none of these are good tracks by any means. None of them deserve to take up a spot in the track list, yet I can't think of a CTGP without them. It's like they belong here. But I understand. Its time has come. Thing is though, it only got removed because the creator himself asked to have it taken out the pack. It wasn't removed because the CGP team realized it was bad. It wasn't removed because everyone kept complaining about it. Last I checked there wasn't a Are you serious? Last I checked there wasn't a change.org petition to get it removed. Yeah, that's real by the way. It was taken out because of the creator. That's interesting. The only other instances of track creators asking their work be removed were with Yoshi Valley and Green Park. Wonder if they have anything in common. So yeah, that's about it for Heart of China. It got what it deserved, but I mean, I'll get over it. GBA track. Pretty standard desert track. Of course it's standard, it's made by Nintendo. Not exactly going to be the most avant-garde, revolutionary work of art now, is it? I like the oasis, and the overall landscape isn't nearly as flat as other desert levels out there, but I mean, it's a desert level. I don't exactly got a lot to say about it. Moving on! Y'all know how I feel about circuits. This one ain't that bad though. I'll admit, it's one of my favorite circle levels out there. Not that it raises the bar too much, it is a circuit, so. When I loaded this one, the first thing I noticed with the opening pans was this weird looking fence thing. I think it looks kinda neat, but ZPL went a little overboard with it, just a little. It looks good in certain sections, but when you place it across the entire map, it looks less like decorative fencing and more like a graveyard. Other than that, I don't have any comments. Perfectly fine circuit. Moving on. This one's as lame as ever. This is one of Spy Kid's weaker works. I know he could do a lot better. It's pretty empty, you know? It's like a less terrible version of Sandcastle Park. It's fine. I know y'all are probably sick of me saying it's fine and offering nothing else, but I don't really know what else to say. Guess it's just not my cup of clams? Oh god. This one definitely isn't my cup of clams. Well, at the moment, that is. I don't know what's been going on with now and December, but I'm not really feeling very festive. Oh, really? I'm not feeling up for the holidays in the middle of April? Wow, what a concept. What a shock. I mean, it is about to be Easter at the time of recording this, so I guess it sort of ties back to Christmas, but shut up, stop talking. This one's actually enjoyable. I can't complain about anything being wrong. It's got a fair amount of shortcuts and scenery, and it's nice and all, but it's pretty hit or miss for me. Normally it's pretty good, but if I'm not up for it, then it seems like a bit of a slog to go through, and right now I guess I'm just not feeling up for it. Chandler's done better, for sure, but this one isn't too bad. Could use some snowmen, though. Moving on. Not as lame as the other Spy Kid track, but still lame. Especially that part of the treehouse by the end of the lap. These ramps are ridiculous. Spy Kid, why Spy Kid? It's because I lean forward too much? Am I tricking wrong? Is there a secret strat I don't know about? No, I'm just bad at the game? Yeah, it's that one. I'm just bad at the game, we all know that. 6 out of 10, moving on. Unless I'm mistaken, this is going to be the first track I talk about to have competed in a CT Jam. If you don't know, it's a creator competition. They get a prompt, a theme, and have like 48 hours to build something. Then judges rank them from worst to best. For this one, the theme was coins, and this one won. And for good reason too. It's fun, and it's creative, and it looks cool. It's like GBA Sky Garden from 5 minutes ago, but less depressing, and it's actually good. The CDJ version obviously isn't as good as this is the refined version, but even for something made in 48 hours, the first version is still impressive. Another fun fact, Taco Josh, the creator of Coin Heaven, commented on my Volcanic Skyway video, which is like arguably my worst video. I have no idea if he still watches these videos. He did leave that comment over a year ago, and I haven't seen him since, but just in case he is watching, nice track, man. I'll give it a thumbs up, and 1 red coin. Oh yeah, there's a red coin underneath that starting platform right there. I never noticed that till now. It's cool. Anyway, on to the newcomers. Let's be completely underwhelmed. I'm ready. Bring it. Oh, sorry. Moving on. Yeah. First off, what is that name? What on earth is that name? N.I.S.W.O.E Desert? That is up there, man. Up there with other legendary track names like Gingivitis is Bad, or Lee's Lesbian River in Missouri, or of course, ASD, of course, that one. That one's one of the greats. N.I.S.W.O.E is supposed to be an abbreviation for New Image Settings with OBJ Exporter. Desert. So that's the official name, that's the legal name. Anytime you refer to this track in a professional environment, you must refer to it as New Image Settings with Object Exporter Desert. Just rolls off the tongue now, doesn't it? I am introducing a new track status for this. Philip's Top Pick. It's basically one that I think is okay to kinda sucky, but he thinks is top tier because his personal subjective opinions are terrible and don't match mine. And I imagine this would be one he likes quite a bit more than I do because I'm picky. It's like a Diet Sahara Hideout. Now I already don't like Sahara Hideout, so you can imagine my thoughts on this one. And you'd actually be wrong if you were thinking that made it worse. This is actually a good thing. It tones down all my annoyances with Sahara Hideout. That, and it actually doesn't resemble Sahara Hideout all that much when I think about it. Still a good thing in my book. I suppose a more apt comparison would be Hell Pyramid, but who the hell cares about Hell Pyramid? There's reasons it's not there anymore. It was garbage. For the most part, I think it's okay. It's another regular desert level, with the addition of lava for whatever reason. When I first saw it, I thought it would have been a lot more boring than I expected, but it turns out this one's actually pretty well paced. It's an above average desert level, for sure. This is like Mario Kart's redemption arc. Volcano Canyon disappointed me so much, and even though it isn't on the same playing field as Burial Grounds, this one's just fine, you know? So yeah, I find New Image Settings with Object Exporter Desert to be surprisingly more enjoyable than I initially thought. Would I call it good? Maybe. Am I in love with it? Absolutely not. I could get by just fine without it. Moving on. Marked Sandstone Cliffs as the second entry in the Philip's Top Pick category. I like it. It's cool. I've seen better, but this ain't that bad. A lot of tracks using Mushroom Gorge today, huh? Citrus is shaping up to be a really solid creator. I'm impressed by his output. Real impressed. Vile became one of my favorite tracks ever instantly, like as soon as I played it for the first time. And even though I didn't think too highly of Jungle Glade, something about it kept me from just dismissing it as nothing more than a standard jungle. To this day, I still can't quite put my finger on it. It's been half a year and I've had plenty of time, but I still don't know. One of those tracks, I suppose. Sandstone Cliffs finds itself comfortably in between those two levels of quality, leaning a bit more toward Jungle Glade. It's nicely made. I like the atmosphere here, pun unintended. You don't see this type of design too often. It's a clever choice because it excuses a lot of the emptiness in the surrounding area. You don't have to put a bunch of scenery everywhere to make it look good. One track this immediately reminds me of would be Canyon Run. Really tall and slender rock formations making up the road, hot air balloons, sort of dryish climate. Visually, I gotta give the upper hand to Canyon Run, but Sandstone Cliffs flows a lot better in my opinion. It's more varied in road design. All that's needed are a few extra enemies or obstacles, like maybe some boulders or something, and I'd probably love it. As is, it's a slight bit too empty for my taste, but even then, it's still a nice track. Good pick, I approve. Uh-oh, it's time for a bonus round. Ooh, yeah, bonus round. Totally not a cover-up for things I wanted to talk about in February that I never got to because I didn't finish the video. Bonus! For as long as I've been aware of it, Cave Island has always been one of my least favorite tracks out there. It's always struck me as the generic track. I've had a whole rant about this one bouncing around in my head for years now, and I initially recorded a 7-minute ramble about how much I hated it. I'll just give you the abridged version. I don't like it. Everything about it is really flat and unengaging and dull and forgettable. How many synonyms are there for boring? Uninteresting environment, uninteresting gameplay, uninteresting name even. Cave Island, come on, you can do better than that. It's very basic. The entire thing, really, is basic. It's generic. That's the most accurate way to describe it. It's generic. That's the perfect term for it. If you were to ask me to describe Cave Island in one word, generic. Riddle me this one more time. Why play Cave Island instead of, say, Luigi's Island, or Fishdom Island, or Secluded Island? Yeah, this question again. Again. What could Cave Island possibly have that differentiates it from Windmill Village, or Water Village, or Festival Town, or Summer Starville, or Seaside Resort, or the dozens of other tracks out there identical to these ones? Cave Island didn't do anything wrong. Realistically speaking, it was fun. It was a mediocre, inoffensive little track. Nobody really cared about it that much. It did nothing wrong, but it also did nothing right. It did nothing. It tried nothing, it did nothing. Its title as the generic track is completely arbitrary. It could have gone to Lakeside Hill or Luigi's Island. Only reason Cave Island won over all others was because it was the most generic of the generic. It didn't even try to get any sort of reaction out of me, which ironically enough makes me hate it even more. It didn't even try, dude. And that's why I hate it so much. That's why I hate these kinds of tracks so much. Even in the tracks I find the most wrong in, ASDF Course, Cartwood Creek, Big Box, even in those tracks, there's at least something to hold on to, some aspect about it that I find worth being angry over, be it the sheer laziness, the baffling design, or the history behind it. There's something about them that evokes such a strong reaction out of me that I find them to be deserving of all the negative attention they get. They've earned their reputations as being among the worst that custom tracks have to offer. Cave Island has nothing. It has absolutely nothing to its name. Most people don't even consider it when they think of bad tracks. And why would they? Like I said, it does nothing wrong, but it also does nothing to try and make it stand out or even worth playing. It does nothing to prove it's worth my time. It doesn't try really hard to do something ambitious and fall flat. It doesn't make a half-hearted attempt at doing anything. It doesn't even try to be intentionally bad. It does nothing. So while it may not be the worst of the worst of the worst, it's the one I have the least desire to return to. And in a game like this, where you're meant to play something over and over and over, that's a good sign that a track is a fundamental failure. It has one purpose, and it can't do that. Nobody's gonna miss this one. Not a single person. And that, to me, is the most telling about the quality of the track. Good riddance. Words cannot describe the disappointment I felt when I played this one for the first time in months. Like I said in last year's April update, which is still somehow my most viewed video at the time of recording, I've been kinda slacking, so I haven't exactly played this one in quite a while. And when I finally got to it, it just let me down so much. Believe it or not, I actually liked this one. It had a lot wrong with it, and I had every reason not to like it, but I did anyway, for whatever reason. I don't know, just one of those tracks. Now, with the update, I think it's been nerfed. Like, a lot. It's not nearly as tricky and awkward as it once was. Especially that boardwalk section. Man, what the hell happened to that boardwalk? I should not be able to do this cut this easily, right? It doesn't make sense. And those platforms, I don't know what happened to them either. I could be wrong, but last time I checked, you couldn't trick off every ramp and survive. I think you had to like alternate between tricking and wheeling, like an off-brand Mushroom Peaks. What happened here? Am I just remembering it wrong? Has it always been like this? Am I going crazy? Am I crazy? Something happened here. I just know it. Whatever changes were made, they took the fun out of this one. It still is kind of fun. I can't say it's a bad track. It's not. But I don't like it that much anymore. Or maybe I still do. I don't exactly have a good frame of reference. I haven't played it in months. First impressions though? Underwhelming. I gotta keep an eye on this one. We're all in agreement that this one is really cool, right? No one with half a brain can't be impressed by it, at least a little. Strangers to good taste, maybe, like people who don't even know what Mario Kart is. To anyone else though, everything about this is really cool. Love the way little music notes fly out when you break an iron box, by the way. That was a nice touch. You remember that one track I talked about last time, Musical Cliff? Know the difference between these two. The one by Atlas has several musical ideas incorporated into the actual track, whereas the other one doesn't. Rules to follow when making custom tracks. Just keep in mind your creativity is not bound to the sidelines, so have at it. And also make it good. So what do y'all think of Musical Motor Race / 3DS Music Park? Do you like it? I like it. I like it. I have been waiting for this one to get added. It's about friggin' time, dude. Is what I would have said 2 months ago when this was still new. I think it's safe to say I like this one. Just a tad, just a smidge. You don't exactly see library tracks every day. Bonus points for a unique setting. Even if you think libraries are a little boring, because they are, it was made really well here. It's more of a regular castle with bookshelves lining the walls, but hey, I'll take it. It's really nice. There are a lot of opportunities for shortcuts and whatnot. It's very fun to play. Do I even really need to say what's so good about this? I think it's kind of obvious. I'm assuming y'all have played this one too. If you haven't for some reason, you should. It's worth your time. I don't ordinarily find castle tracks to be that great to play. A lot of them wind up getting really repetitive in nature, worst case scenario being something like Six King, but the creators not only managed to make it work, but they made it work well. It goes all over the place, in and out of the castle, bunch of different road designs. What more can I say then? It's fun and I like it. Also, by the way, this is once again a showcase of my psychic abilities. In the Comes to December update video, I went over the surprise Christmas update, and when I got to Thumb Bump Forest, I compared it to a cross between Haunted Woods, Luigi's Mansion, and of course, Kamek's Library. Kamek? I think it's Kamek. I'm not bragging, just saying. With this kind of power I might win the lottery someday. Just saying. And there we have it, there we go. Here's to hoping that I'll actually get more consistent with uploads, but who knows, I probably won't. I definitely won't. But hey, I got this one done, didn't I? It's gotta count for something. Also, by the way, this is for the love of God. That'll be all for today. I have nothing left to tell you, so go get out of here. Leave.